Well, good morning. Hopefully, we are all online and okay. I'm here this morning from home, and hopefully you can all hear me okay. Let's have a little look on my. Yeah, I can see that I can be heard, which is good news. And it looks like I might have some visitors soon on here, which will be good news. We have a Bible study every morning, most mornings anyway. We've been a bit chilled over Christmas, and then into the new year, everyone's been a bit poorly with the old COVID, including myself, which is why I'm at home self isolating. And the children are currently in bed, although Sophie might have gone to school, I don't know, but Liam certainly is still asleep. I haven't really had much of a cough during COVID, um, but I did feel like coughing just then. So, anyhow, Um, I hope that you're all well. Let us know how you're doing. I can see your comments and stuff as they come up here, which is great. So you can join in the comments. You can even join in online. To be honest with you, it's quite easy going. You can go to our website, which is up in the description there, and from there you can essentially go onto our. There's like a little button that says join our 9:30 a.m. Bible study. You can hit that button and come into this. So, good morning, Don, who is on YouTube right now, and good morning to Mark and Candy, who are on Facebook. I hope you're well this morning. I'm been watching the news this morning, and they're all kicking off about the party still, and they're doing loads of other stuff as well, aren't they? So they're talking about all sorts of weird and wonderful things. One of the things that they've been talking about this morning was child poverty, and Labour MP came onto the telly and was saying that it's not right that children are poor and starving and cold, whilst the PM is trying to defend himself from having parties in his garden. I like watching Sky News though because sometimes there's a bit of fun on there. Kay Burley asked me about Keir Starmer's party. Who even knew Keir Starmer had a party as well? So the Labour MP was then defending Keir Starmer's internal inside office party whilst condemning uh, Boris Johnson's outside party. How fun is that? I know. So there you go. Isn't politics fun? How a person could be so torn between how dangerous it is inside compared to outside and all that sort of stuff. I would have thought it would have been more dangerous inside to have a party than outside. But anyway, there you go. That's politics today. That's what's going on. They're all going on about some party. I think some people are probably angry that I didn't get invited to the party. Do you reckon that's what it is? And so they're all kicking off, aren't they? I didn't get invited, so now I'm gonna tell everyone that you had a bad party and that it's a naughty party. Um, I don't know whether that's entirely true, but what's this? Mark says he's fallen up. He fell this morning on the ice and hit my head. Oh, that's no good, is it, mate? I hope you're all right, mate. I hope your head is okay. Um, might have to pop to the doctors if you feel a bit confused later on, because that you might get a concussion or something like that, you know. So that's not good, is it? Bumping your head. Um, anyhow, we're going to be studying. We're going to be studying Matthew chapter 16 shortly, and I'll read that out. But Mark says, "How am I feeling today?" I'll be honest with you, I'm feeling pretty good. I was all right yesterday. Sort of. I felt like a little bit, not even a head cold, not even that bad really, but like when you're sort of like just like a bit docile. You know what I mean? So, but a lot more chirpy than I was the day before. I think Friday and Saturday I felt a bit rough, but it's a bit like the same feelings what I had after I had my first jab. So I just felt like really sort of like tired and sicky and headachy. I even had to have two paracetamol on Friday and two paracetamol on Saturday. Just to take the edge off a little bit. So I know some people would eat like hundreds of paracetamol, wouldn't they? But I'm not really one for taking paracetamol. I'm sure my body does better at just fighting it itself. So Laura's good though. She's off to work and she's chilling. She's doing all right, and Liam is now out of isolation. He's all able to go out and work and do all these things that he does. So that's good news. But yeah, we're quite chilled. I'm hoping I'll be out again on Friday. Although I'm still testing positive, so you have to have two negative tests, I think. I'm not sure whether it's day 7 that I can go out. I'm sure they'll send me a text to let me know. Anyway, who knows? I don't know how it all works nowadays. At 1 minute it's 10 days, and then it's 7, and then hopefully it's a 5-day now. If it's 5 days, then technically speaking, I should be allowed out today, but I haven't seen anything about it. No one sent me a text or anything, so thank you, Candy. I think, like I said, I'm pretty chill, pretty cozy. Been playing some Xbox, so yeah, we'll chill. And then I've got some meetings and stuff. To be honest with you, I don't even know if I've got some meetings today. I might have a couple of meetings today online. I've definitely got a couple tomorrow though. And I've just checked my emails, and I've got no emails. It's like I'm so bored, if I'm honest with you. It's like being locked in, not being able to do anything. But you know, Xbox is all right. Keep me going. What's this? Okay, so Mark's girlfriend and family have all got COVID as well. So yeah, bless them. Hopefully they've had their jabs. I think the jabs stopped me from being too ill. I've had 3 jabs I have, and so I think just 2 days of illness. That weren't really that bad, really. It's all I suffered with, so that's got to be a bonus. Especially as I've got bad kidneys. My kidneys only work at 51%. So yeah, I think you'd worry that if I had COVID really bad, and if I didn't have the jab, then I might have been really poorly. So I went and got the jab really early on. In fact, I think I was one of the first people around to get a COVID jab in Lincolnshire. Anyway, yeah, that's a cat. That's so funny that you could hear the cat. I'm surprised the dogs ain't going wild as well. Coco's chilling out in her bed, but now I said her name, she might get up. Yeah, there's a cat crying. Kitty! Oh, no, doggo. That's it, I've run a dog up now as well. What do you want? All right, no, she's gone off to have a bit of a go. Cool. There we go. So yeah, let us know in the comments how you're doing, what you're up to, and what you got going on today. Mark, what are you doing today? What are you doing? You going out anywhere? Got any work on or anything like that? Good girl, Coco. You go to bed. Hey, what am I doing? You got a little. You got a little as 1/8. I don't know what that means, Mark. If I'm honest with you, I don't even understand what you're trying to say there. But yeah, I've got our cat's an adult cat now. I think if that's what you're asking. Made this cup of tea so long ago that it's gone cold now. We're going to be looking at Matthew chapter 16 and verse 19 really soon. At least a little tiny bit of verse 19 anyway. We're going to focus on a little area and see how we go. Let me just double check. No one's trying to log in on Zoom. No one's trying to log in yet. There we go. It's all good though. Yeah, so that should be good. Oh, and this volcano thing. What's that all about? It's like a little island in the middle of the sea, isn't it? That's crazy. And I think that's made a tsunami, which has like washed away loads of like businesses and homes and stuff. Crazy. Okay, Mark's going to play some Xbox as well. Oh yeah, got a new little dog. Yeah. Ah, she's not around. Hello, kitty. No dog. Okay. There you go. So the little cat came in to come and say hello, and the big dog chased him away. Can you stop whining? It's so funny. He'll probably come up and like want to get on a camera in a minute because he's a bit of a weirdo, that cat is. I should have brought the little dog in, shouldn't I? She's a bit wild, if I'm honest. She's still a puppy, and she's just scatty. I was go and grab her. Tom and Jerry. Although I think Jerry was a mouse and Tom was a cat. But yeah, that's cool. I'll finish my cup of tea, and then I might grab the little dog so you can see the little dog, little puggo. Hang on, let me finish my cup of tea. Hang on. I'm not going to finish my cup of tea. Hang on. Let's remove this computer. I'm back in 2 seconds. No. So this is Maggie. No, Coco. Maggie, what are you doing? Look at the cat. Coco, down. Okay, you go. No. Anyway, hey, behave. Go back to your bed. Go chill out. Maggie's looking for a bone now. She's off her head. Where's your little bone, Maggie? Oh, why did I do this? Here you go, Maggie. No, you don't want it, Coco. Look. Here you go. Maggie, what's this? There you go, look. How's that? Oh, you want to eat it. Anyway, I'll see this why I left the little dog in the other room because she's off her head, and now they're all off their heads. They're all going to go running around all over the place. Coco, chill out. Ah, dear. I shouldn't have let her out, really. But there you go. Shall we try and have a Bible study whilst the dogs are going wild? Lay down. Lay down. That's it. There you go. I calmed that down pretty good, didn't I? Ow! Anyway, Maggie. Come on, Maggie, yeah, come on. You can come and sit with me today, look. No, not you, Coco. Okay, Coco, come on. Kiss. Coco, kiss. Things not to do. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, right. Let's have a Bible study, because these are just off their heads. Right, lay down. Chill out. Go to your bed and lay down. Okay, let's have a Bible study. We're looking at Matthew... We're looking at Matthew chapter. I didn't see Matthew chapter 16, verse 19. So this is where just after Peter turns around and says to Jesus that he is the Christ and that he's a Messiah and all that sort of stuff. Jesus then turns around and says a lot of stuff. It says, I will give you, this is part of what he says. It says, I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. And then it carries on a little bit. But this is the bit that we're going to start on today. We're going to have a look at today. We are looking at the sentence, or the part of the sentence where it says, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Okay, whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. I was watching a documentary once, like a Christian documentary, where there's this fella who goes around with a camera following like street evangelists and stuff, and he sort of tries to catch miracles on TV, essentially. If you're not a Christian today, or if you're struggling in your faith, may I recommend popping on to something like YouTube or something like that and checking out a couple of different films. One of them is called Father of Lights. And I think it might be the Father of Lights, where I saw this quote that I'm going to mention in a few moments. And the other one is called Sons of God, which you can watch for free on the internet. The two of these films and many more essentially see loads of really interesting miracles and coincidences, or more than coincidences, happening across a period of time, and it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, Mark, Todd White is part of the crew and one of the people that's followed around for Father of Lights. And it's really, really interesting. As part of one of those videos, there's a guy called Bill Johnson, who is an American pastor, and is known for the supernatural. He sees the supernatural around him all of the time, and he sees lots of healings, and there's a lot of prophecy and stuff that we try to do quite a lot here in Lincoln, actually. And Bill Johnson mentions this verse. Let me read it again. Bill Johnson mentions this verse. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. And he talks about how Christians can sometimes be, a little bit judgmental. And in particular, they were talking about some folks who were going through the streets, and they had like pickets and stuff, and these signs and stuff would say things like adulterers will have their place in a lake of fire and things like that, and if you don't follow Jesus, you're going to go to hell, and all these sorts of other things. Turn or burn is some of the sort of phrases you hear from some of these street preachers. No, doggos. And they're knocking all this stuff around all over the place. And Bill Johnson, when commenting on how sometimes Christians can be judgmental, he says that his understanding of this verse just here is striking. He says, so when Jesus said, "Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven," what he means then is that when we don't forgive people and don't show grace and love to people here on earth, God doesn't release his grace and love and forgiveness from heaven. And so Bill Johnson said that maybe some of the natural disasters and diseases and stuff that we see around the world could be the direct result of Christians' unforgiveness and condemnation of the world and the earth. And when we don't forgive here on earth, God doesn't forgive in heaven. Which is interesting, isn't it? So essentially what Bill Johnson was saying was that if we were less condemnatory towards the people around us, if we were less judgmental here, then God would have less wrath in heaven towards the earth and towards the people of the earth. Which is really interesting, isn't it? Because essentially what Bill Johnson would be saying there is there are two different schools of thought. One is that God is sending down wrath and judgment because the earth has done, because humans have done awful things, and because we haven't treated the earth very well and all that sort of stuff. Whereas what Bill Johnson is saying is that we have the power to change that wrath and judgment to grace and love, if only we could forgive and if only we could show grace. Which is interesting, isn't it? I'm not sure what your thoughts are, but I'm sure that I can dig a little bit deeper into my thoughts. I'll give that a few moments to sink in, and for you guys to send us a message back, and I will let you know some more of my thoughts in a few moments. But what would be your thoughts on that statement? I can see some people watching and not many people commenting, but I am watching the comments. I'm chilling out. I'm here for you to have a look at this. So Mark says that he thinks Sodom, it makes him think of Sodom and Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible. Yeah. So Sodom and Gomorrah were essentially cities that were more or less the same as what you'd say a city was today. Like full of stuff that was all wrong and stuff, and people that were intent on hurting others, and I think what you might be looking at there is how God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. It's interesting though, because I think Abraham was doing the opposite to what Christians do today. So Abraham, in that moment where Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed, Abraham was trying to petition to God on behalf of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, saying, "Would you essentially not destroy Sodom and Gomorrah?" And God said, if there was one person found to be holy in the city, then he wouldn't destroy the cities, which were essentially joined in the middle, a bit like Grimsby and Cleethorpes, which both used to be two separate towns, but have now sort of joined in the middle and have turned into one big city, Sodom and Gomorrah. Not that Grimsby and Cleethorpes are Sodom and Gomorrah at all, but it's just trying to explain how the two towns become one big city, essentially. But it's interesting because in that story, Abraham, the man of God, was petitioning God to not destroy the cities, whereas what Bill Johnson is saying, and what I might say as well, is that I think today Christians petition God for destruction rather than for grace, which is a really sad state of affairs, isn't it? I think Christians often don't show very good grace, and yet they show a lot of judgment. But Jesus said that what we've been given should be freely given by us, and so we've been given grace and forgiveness, and so we should go on to forgive others, But yeah, interesting stuff. So my understanding of this is that I think Christians can be quite judgmental quite a lot. It's interesting as well because Christians sometimes, we talk about our mission and stuff, and we talk about what we're here for, and there are a whole bunch of Christians and Christian leaders who say that the church should be leading the way, and that we should be leading the nation, that we should be 1 second, Candy. That we should be sort of ahead of politics and all that sort of stuff, and that we should be forcing the world to come in line with God's commands. So some Christians think that we're the salt and light, so we're sort of meant to help people to see to keep God's laws and stuff like that. Whereas what I would suggest, and I think what I would suggest and what I believe is that we're not here to be leaders of the world, but we're here to be missionaries in the world. Like the Bible says that we are not of this world; we're citizens of heaven. And so essentially, we should be trying to advocate for heaven's culture. So essentially what that means is that I behave as the perfect representative of heaven here on earth. And when people want to know more about heaven, my job as a Christian is to explain and show what heaven is like. So it's almost like I'm a foreign secretary from heaven in England, and so you wouldn't expect Egypt's foreign secretary to come over to England and tell us how we should do our politics and how we should do lifestyle and all that sort of stuff. Instead, that person's job as an advocate for their nation is to come over and try to help us to understand Egypt's politics and culture so that we can better get along without any hiccups and stuff. Say, like if I was to pop over to Egypt on holiday, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's the idea. But what a lot of people do is they sort of think that Christians are here to judge and condemn the world instead. And I'm not sure that I believe that. And so what Jesus says here is whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. And so I'm wondering whether, as Bill Johnson said, maybe Christians could be more focused on loosing forgiveness on the earth so that God would release forgiveness from heaven, and that we would be able to loose blessings on earth so that God can release blessings in heaven on the earth, if that makes sense. Tell us what your thoughts are. Let us know what you're thinking. Do you think Bill Johnson is right, or do you think that, or do you think something different? Let us know. Candy, I'm a bit busy today in terms of I'm off sick. I know I'm on the screen just now, but yeah, I'm self-isolated, so I certainly can't go out of the house. But feel free to send us a message if you like, and I'll try to respond if I can. Mark says we're always quick to point the finger at others, but maybe examine ourselves more often. Yeah, it's a good point there, Mark. I guess one of the questions that we could ask at some point is, what are we keeping bound, and what are we loosing here on earth, and how that affects the world around us. I think, and how do we bind? How do we bind stuff? In fact, maybe that's something we can move on to just now. Like, how do we loose and how do we bind here on earth? So to keep something bound is to live with unforgiveness, I guess. That binds up myself. If I can't forgive someone, then I am personally bound with unforgiveness myself towards someone else, and I'm also keeping them bound as well by not forgiving what they've done wrong to me, or to I don't know, someone else that I love, for example. Because sometimes it's not always that someone does something wrong to us, is it? It's that they do something wrong to someone we love. And so yeah, maybe holding unforgiveness binds up the person who is unforgiving and the person who is unforgiven. We're both bound up, I guess, by that. Other things that we other ways in which we bind. I think maybe we can be bound by a lack of information or lack of truth, by maybe ignorance is the right word here. Maybe we are bound by ignorance in that sometimes, you ready for this? This is quite deep. I think this is deep anyway. Sometimes, because we don't want our lives to change, we remain ignorant to a fact or a teaching that is going to cause us to have to change our lives. Yeah? Mostly, the reason we choose to remain ignorant to it is because I think we are fearful of the change, what change will have to happen, or what if I change something and lots of people leave me, or I am abandoned by my friends. So like, for example, right, when I first became a Christian, like literally within a few weeks, I decided that I was going to stop swearing. certainly around my kids anyway. I'll be honest with you, I stopped swearing altogether. I don't think swearing's a sin now, by the way. I probably did then, but I chose to stop swearing, and some of my friends thought that was weird. You know what else I did? I stopped drinking. Here's one. I stopped drinking the day that I become a Christian. Okay, stopped drinking alcohol the day that I become a Christian. And most of my life before that was consumed by alcohol. And so my friendships were all built around drinking. So when I became a Christian and I stopped drinking, suddenly I didn't really have a way to interact with my friends. I didn't really have a way to connect with them, because all we would do is every day we'd drink every day. That's what we do, is drank all day every day together and talk rubbish basically about all sorts of different things. But we would drink and drink. And so when I was made aware of my slavery to alcohol, and I wasn't ignorant to it, it meant that life had to change in such a way that suddenly I lost 80% of my network, my social network. Do you know what I mean? And so what happens, I think, is people sort of weigh those two things up. So if I choose truth and choose to seek the truth, then that's going to cause a change in my life and lifestyle. And I'm not sure that I want that change, or I'm afraid that change is going to be detrimental to me, or I won't know how to cope with the change. And so the easiest way to overcome this is to remain ignorant. So what I do is I won't read my Bible. I won't go to church. I won't let people speak into my life. So we can be bound by ignorance. Yeah. Let's see what else people are saying just here. Ashley says, bound by holding resentments towards people. Yeah, it might. Yeah, resentment is something that you don't even have to. Resentment isn't about someone doing something wrong to you. It's almost about jealousy, isn't it? So a bit of conceitedness, even. So that person shouldn't be up on that stage. I have a better gift, or I'm holier than they are, or I have a better character than them, or whatever else. Like I remember when I was a young Christian, feeling resentment or conceited about someone who would jump up and prophesy every week. And I was like, why are they doing that? And why are they giving them the stage to do that? That made no sense whatsoever. You know what I mean? And I'd be like, what is going on? And I'd become resentful or conceited, and I'd say things in my heart like that person shouldn't be up there. And the truth was that actually I was jealous, maybe, or I was conceited. I was certainly resentful. And yeah, that resentfulness can, and the problem is that that in a lot of those situations, it's almost born out of shame. Jeff Bezos shouldn't have £100 billion. That's not fair. That's not right. Resent. But then, I'm never going to take a risk and try to earn some money myself. I'm never going to go and get a job. You know what I mean? So I'm never going to have any dollar. I'm going to be resentful because this guy does, dude, take some risk, or do that, take some risk and go get a job, work hard, and crack on in that manner, So yeah, resentment can bind you on earth, and it can bind the people around you, because once you resent someone, what happens is you start treating them differently, don't you? So where you should show a bit of grace and love towards them, all of a sudden you're giving them like some jip and stuff. All right, someone's at the door, and the dog's about to go mad. No, calm down. Anyway, I might have to cut this short if they keep on going mad like that. No. Anyway, Coco, thank you, but no. Coco likes to know that that she's let us know about the door. So yeah. Come on, thank you, Ashley. Yes, come on. Yeah. Yeah, that's how things are bound, and obviously, there's lots of ways of binding and loosing, and so the question is, how would I loose someone from my resentment? Well, first of all, I need to realise that the problem with resentment is me, not them. So Jeff Bezos doesn't have a problem with being rich. He has no issue with that whatsoever. He's not bothered about it. The person who has a problem is me. Well, I don't. I'm okay with him being rich. I'm like, you can be as rich as you want, mate. I'm not bothered about that at all. But the problem there is with me. And so as soon as I recognise that that I'm the one with the problem and I'm the one with something emotional going on, then maybe I can sort of work out how I can figure out a way around that issue, so maybe there's a good book or good TED talk, or maybe it's a bit deeper than that. Maybe there's some psychological stuff that's going on in my life from something that happened when I was a kid. Maybe the fact that I grew up in a house where there were no money, and so I had no food, and I had no clothes, I had no shoes, I had no bed, and then all of a sudden there's some geezer who's got money to spend on a spaceship. I might feel a bit resentful about that. So what I need to do is I need to recognise that the problem there is firstly mine, and secondly I need to recognise that the reason I feel like that is because of my upbringing and my childhood in comparison to what that guy's got going on right now. And so I need to work on maybe some self-forgiveness and some forgiveness of my family and some other stuff like that. Maybe I need to go and see a counsellor or a psychologist, although it's really hard to get hold of a psychologist nowadays unless you've got about 100 quid an hour. But certainly, I need to work on me in that situation. I need to work on my heart and my feelings. So I can get over it. The truth is that all of these things that we go through are all part of a personal growth story, and we all need to be growing personally. We all need to go on a personal growth story, a personal growth journey. Sorry, it's no good us blaming everything that happens to us and around us on everyone else. Sometimes we need to take ownership of our lives and of the things that we do and see. And this is what Jesus is saying just here, isn't it? Jesus says to Peter and the lads, and he's saying to you as well today, I will give you the keys, yeah? I will give you the ownership of the kingdom of heaven. I will give you the ownership. You are now the owner of your life, of your heaven, of your world. You are the owner. You are the key holder. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. So today, I'm wondering whether you can pinpoint something in your life where you need to take ownership and go, you know what, actually, I'm going to read a book on my own life and try to help myself out a little bit so that I can move away from this and into something fresh. I want to loose myself, and I want to loose blessings for me and for the people around me from heaven. I'm going to pray, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Ashley says, it's our thoughts and feelings towards the situations that we try to become more like Christ. Yeah, we do. Amen. Father, thank you for today. God, I thank you for all the folks that have joined us online today. God, I thank you that we get to have a great day together in this lovely world that you've created for us. The sky is blue. I can see some little buds starting to come out on some of the trees. Even though I'm locked indoors, I can see some birds, I can see some pigeons up in the trees. I feel really hopeful for the world, and I feel really hopeful for myself. Father, I pray for all the different people around that are suffering with COVID, and all the people that are poorly, like Mark's girlfriend and her family. Lord, I pray for Candy, who is in need at the moment as well, and for my friend Ashley, and for Don as well. Lord, Father, I thank you for all of their lives, and I pray, God, that you would help us to know ourselves and to know you, and to be releasers and reconcilers, and to help us to be people who unlock and unbind rather than bind and lock up. In Jesus' mighty and glorious name, amen. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys tomorrow, but for now, let me say goodbye and God bless you.